Hi everyone, here we are ready with our first video of election series. Let's talk about northeast of India. Northeast, though there are handful of states, we only hear about Assam, that too because of Assam tea.
Yeah, there are 8 states in total. All right, let me try to recollect. You got Arunachal Pradesh, Assam, Manipur, Mizoram, Nagaland, Tripura,
You have
and
Sikkim and also Meghalaya.
Meghalaya, that's right.
We
So
got
that's
8
8.
now. Yeah. So 8 states, that means the population must be more, the number of Lok Sabha seats. Shall we talk about that?
Yeah, the population density is quite low there because most of the terrain is mountain. And you got a lot of these different tribal groups also within each state. So overall, they only contribute 25 seats to the Lok Sabha.
25.
Yeah. In comparison, Andhra Pradesh also contributes 25 seats to Lok Sabha.
So Northeast, though there are 8 states, but somehow it always felt like Northeast is like a stepchild of Mother India. I don't know if it is because of the shared border with China, but it has always remained underdeveloped in India. So that's why I want to call it as stepchild. What are the other reasons?
No, that's appropriate. One of the weirdest policies of previous governments, it's a very pessimistic attitude. They thought that if they develop, China could take advantage in case there is a war. So look at it. So you don't want to develop your own country because you're worried that another country can take advantage of it.
Yeah.
So that is primarily the reason why it is underdeveloped. Obviously, corruption and other things are there everywhere in India. So but that's the main reason. But last few years, things are changing. Yeah, obviously, the present dispensation has a different idea about tackling China. So they are putting in a lot of infrastructure, not just in the main cities, but also in the border areas as well. Yeah. So it is to some extent rattling China also because of the way they are seeing the development in the northeast states.
And also let's talk about the people there. So when it comes to terrain, it's all mountainous terrain. So I think not all areas are habitable. So that's why you see the population not so dense. But when it comes to people, the people who are living there are indigenous tribals. But the sad thing is they don't have that unity among them. You know, they always often get into these fights or like it's very divisive, that area of the people. And we also have this very infamous incident quite recently in Manipur where one tribal group hates the other tribal group so much extent that they made the women from other tribal group walk naked. So that is the kind of riots or fights they are in, which is very sad,
Yeah, I think because they're not like these traditional Indian states where you have a combination of homogeneous population. They're all made up of different tribes. And the other thing is they're always fighting against each other or fighting against the state.
Sorry, here, what are they fighting for? Looking at the intensity of the latest incident, what are they fighting for?
So because they are different tribes and they don't get along, they often fight against each other and they often fight against the government to get autonomy, to become independent state. So they all have their demands to be independent from India. So there is a lot of armed conflict as well. There are a lot of armed insurgent groups going back to 1940s, 1930s as well. But in the last few years, a lot of these groups have joined mainstream politics. I think most of the credit goes to Amit Shah. He's done a lot of work with these groups and he's successful in bringing a lot of these groups into mainstream politics. So a lot of them have given up their armed struggles and they're now contesting elections and fighting for people's votes rather than using guns. And BJP also created this group called Northeast Development Alliance, NEDA, and a lot of these groups are part of that. And they've got a big alliance within that whole of Northeast.
And is China, because we're talking about Northeast sharing border with China, do you think China is kind of fueling these rebellious groups in any way just to stir that, fire in India?
No, you're right. I think There are a few groups which get support from China, which get training and arms from China.
Yeah.
So I think that is why there are still some active groups, obviously
Here and there.
Here and there.
Yeah.
Definitely, when you have trouble in your home, your neighbor will obviously take advantage. So that's the same with China and the same with Pakistan. So but I think a lot of good things are happening to Northeast now. You can see that when we were kids, I've never met any Northeastern person in any of our major cities. I have never seen. I've been to a lot of places in India, but I've not. But now there is a lot of infrastructure in there. They're integrating a lot more with India. A lot more people are coming out and mingling with India. So a lot of good things are happening in the last few years.
Yeah, and the influence of China on Northeast is so much that, like, China, I mean, it's very interesting and also strange and weird at the same time. China has gone to the extent that that they renamed some of the areas in Arunachal Pradesh as Chinese names. So the land is in India, but they still renamed. So that's how much the influence of China is. So we spoke about background now. We spoke about the people, the issues and all that. Now let's get into the main thing, the interesting thing, which is politics. So the main political parties, let's talk about BJP, Congress.
Yeah, traditionally they are Congress stronghold. All of these states are only Congress strongholds. There were probably some local parties are out there, but majority of the seats used to go to Congress by default. But I think 2014, where Modi wave swept the whole of India, it also swept a little bit of Northeast as well. So BJP got 10 out of 25.
10 out of 25 in 2014.
In 2014. And then in 2019, they've almost doubled their tally. Along with their allies, they've got 19 out of 25. So that's almost double. So right now, BJP has become so strong in there. Obviously there are some key people that we're going to talk about who is responsible for that.
So let me do that thing.
Sure.
So yeah, because I'm so excited to even talk about that person. That is the reason why I want to talk about that person. So, like he said, 10 seats in 2014, 19 seats in 2019. It's not just about Modi, but it's about that one person who is the Chief Minister of Assam now. So he is none other than Himanta Biswa Sarma. He is also one among the top 5 leaders of BJP. That's how strong, such a strong personality he is. So to talk about Himanta Biswa, he was initially, back in those days when he started his political career, he was in Congress. And he was working along with the previous Chief Minister of Assam, Tarun Gogoi.
Yes.
And he used to be always active in, the state politics. But then what happened once, Tarun Gogoi started aging and, he didn't look at Himanta as his successor, but he instead wants to bring his son. What's his name? That his son's
Gaurav
Gogoi, who is actually now the main face of Congress there. But because Himanta Biswa has always been in the public with strong political ambitions, he wanted to raise those kind of concerns to high command, Congress high command. But what happened is, again here I want to talk about another interesting thing, which Himanta Biswa often narrates. He says that when he went to Rahul Gandhi's house, just like an appointment to express his concerns about what's happening with Tarun Gogoi and his son, Rahul Gandhi made Himanta wait for 2 hours. He kept playing with his dog and he did all the other things, but he didn't give Himanta the time to talk to him. So I think that was the breaking point for Himanta.
Yeah. But Himanta always emphasizes that it is not a standalone incident. I think this took a few years, at least for Himanta to understand Congress is not the place for him. Because, I understand the reasons. Like, for example, they say he started being active in politics right from the age of 10. Now, he started, Himanta, he started hanging out with these political people when he was just 10 years old. And when you start from that age and when
but that's
you
not
put
the
in,
right age, sorry.
Yeah, but I mean, he probably is not active in politics at that time, but maybe he was doing odd jobs here and there for those people, So he was in the middle of things, but he was not actually doing politics. So he's when you are when you put in such a hard work from that young age, and when you are in the public, when you are working towards strengthening the party, and when your chief minister brings his own son from a corporate job and say, look, he's my successor now, people would be upset. And it's not just him, there were other leaders within the party also had the same concern. So that's why when Himanta left, he left with a chunk of MLAs and they all joined BJP.
I'm 100% sure Rahul Gandhi must be regretting every single day. I mean, not every single day, but whenever he thinks about Northeast, I'm 100% sure Rahul Gandhi must be regretting for not giving enough time to Himanta Biswa that day, and also for not hearing his concerns. Because Himanta is not just one man. He changed the whole political landscape of Northeast. Not just Himanta, he also made Arunachal Chief Minister Pema Khandu, yeah.
So he's also Congress Chief Minister, is now BJP Chief Minister.
Yeah, so he moved people like that who are very passionate, very ambitious, and that is the reason why, Himanta is fondly called as Amit Shah of Northeast. He is the political strategist for the whole Northeast. He is not just the Chief Minister of Assam. So I think losing Himanta Biswa to BJP, Congress has done a grave mistake, I should say.
Yeah, I mean, just my speculation that Rahul Gandhi never regrets any of his decisions, apparently. So let's put that aside. But you're right. I think because there are two things, right? It's not just him going into BJP. BJP did not give him CM seat as soon as he joined. They made him work in other states. They made him prove his worth. And in the second term after he joined BJP in 2021, he joined in 2017, they made him Chief Minister only in 2021. So for those 4 years, he was working in other states, he was proving himself to the BJP, right? Yeah. So identifying the talent and also making sure they work hard. I mean, that some credit has to go to Amit Shah and Narendra Modi here.
Yeah. They want the people in their party to show that commitment. They are not going to give a nice role to someone who came just from Congress. Yeah.
Just
so
because
it totally makes sense. Yeah.
So, yeah, you're right. I think when you say he's one of the top 5 leaders in BJP right now, so that says a lot for a person who joined from Congress.
And definitely with the issues in Northeast, like, the shared border with China, and also the local issues, the kind of riots and fights between the tribal groups, and also the Citizenship Amendment Act. Yeah. It is also very hot, sensitive issue now, especially in that area. Looking at all these things, definitely I think Northeast deserves a strong party in power and also a strong person.
Yeah, I think they are getting it. So if you look at the last few years, I think the tide has turned from Congress to BJP. BJP is extremely strong. You can see things on the ground. One example is Arunachal Pradesh has assembly elections along with Lok Sabha elections in 2024.
Now in 24, okay.
And they got 60 seats in total. Out of the 60 seats, BJP has won unopposed in 10 seats already. So nobody competed against BJP in 10 seats.
Already in assembly.
Yeah.
Oh,
so that
really
includes the current Chief Minister Pema Khandu. So he's won unanimously.
So 10 out of 60, BJP passed even without, let's say BJP scored 10 out of 60 even without sitting the exam.
Exactly.
Very, very unanimous. Yeah.
So really good. You can see things like that on the ground. So obviously... And people are seeing the development, right? Like you see visible infrastructure, roads, bridges, dams, etc. People remember that. People see how things change in the last few years. So they know. And the other thing BJP always counts on is obviously the benefits that people get direct into their bank accounts. This is one thing that Modi has done across India. All the welfare schemes go to the people directly. There is no middleman involved. It's from Modi to their bank account. So that's how they narrate it, right? BJP.
Yeah,
so I think they're counting on that, plus the visible infrastructure, plus obviously the popularity of both these men, Modi as well as Himanta Sarma, is probably going to carry BJP.
Yeah. But I wonder if Rahul Gandhi's, what is that? Rahul Gandhi, it's everywhere in the news. Rahul Gandhi spent, relatively more time than usual in Northeast, hoping to bring that
this is about
glory
the
of Congress
Bharat
back.
Jodo Nyaya Yatra.
Nyaya Yatra,
Second one,
So,
the second one of his
yeah,
yatra.
yeah. So Rahul Gandhi spent more time in Northeast as part of this yatra. I'm really hoping to bring the glory of Congress back. Let's see, but definitely people are watching, the change. The lives are changing, times are changing. So let's see whom they pick. But our prediction is that definitely with the way things are progressing, and also the looking at the local issues in Northeast and looking at the kind of party and people Northeast people definitely need in these times, in these days. We predict that it is definitely going to be BJP, and last time it was 19 seats. Definitely it's going to be 20 plus this time.
Yeah, 20 plus or minus. So they should be there or thereabouts like last time. Because, there are few strong regional parties. They might get a few seats. And Congress might also get 1 or 2 seats. But I think it's looking more advantage BJP. And I think if they repeat the performance, that will be extremely beneficial for BJP because they want to aim for 370 plus themselves this year. It'll contribute a long way to that goal. Yeah, one other point we need to consider here is BJP recently has completed a delimitation exercise in Assam.
Oh, is it about the women reservation in politics?
No, not related to women's reservation. It is a general delimitation exercise only for Assam.
Okay.
Because Assam has a lot of migrant Muslim population from Bangladesh and Myanmar.
Oh.
So there is always, that's why CAA is always a very sensitive issue there because of a migrant Muslim population. So in theory, BJP wants to limit the influence of these migrant Muslims in certain areas. So they completed delimitation exercise, hoping that it will benefit them. So that should also help them in both assembly as well as Lok Sabha elections.
Okay. So to wrap it up, that's all right. We
Yep.
covered most of the points. It's a really interesting topic knowing about Northeast. So we will just wrap it up with our prediction. It's going to be definitely a one-sided game for BJP in Northeast. Thank you for watching.
Thank you.